Welcome back to Wine, Whiskey, and Words, the podcast where we drink boldly, talk loudly, and overthink just about everything. I'm Brad, your host, accidental philosopher, and living proof that confidence and talent do not always arrive together. I overanalyze conversations that ended years ago, sing like I'm auditioning for a role no one will cast, and somehow still believe this episode will be the one where I finally make all good decisions. Spoiler alert, it won't be. And I'm joined by Daniel, my co host, cruise enthusiast, pool hall legend in his own mind, and a man who approaches life with the confidence of someone who's never Googled himself. When he's not planning his next cruise or scratching on the brake, he's reminding me that rules are more like suggestions, and that he was definitely winning before things went wrong. Together, we've tackled life's most important questions like which celebrities made the worst public decisions imaginable, whether cruising is a vacation or a personality, how time travel would immediately turn us into history's biggest idiots, and how to deal with rejection without pretending we meant for that to happen. But today we're doing something a little more civilized, at least on paper. We're building the ultimate dinner party and counting down our top 10 famous people, living or dead, that we'd want sitting around the table with us. We're talking about who gets an invite, what conversations we're having once the drinks start flowing, and what the theme of the night is. Because if you're hosting a dinner party with historical figures and celebrities, you can't just wing it. So grab a drink, lower your expectations, and join us for another episode of Wine, Whiskey, and Words, where the pours are heavy, the logic is light, and the self-awareness is optional.
So in my defense about Googling myself, I was told I'd go blind if I did
That's not what Googling means.
that. Oh, all right, Brad. What are we drinking tonight?
Wow, we are drinking. So I cracked open another bottle that I got from Wine Spies. I bought this one some months back, and I thought about this one because it's actually the current offering. They got a handle on some more. But this one is the Patland 2023 Cabernet Sauvignon from Napa Valley with extended maceration. I'm going to read a little bit of the notes on it, but basically, what extended maceration means is that after the fermentation is done, they'll they'll leave the skin of the grapes in there for a longer period of time, so you end up getting richer tannins, more of a mouthfeel. So I'm going to read a little bit on that. This is a review by Jeb Dunnock on it. It says across the board, the 2023s stand out for their purity, vibrancy, and elegance, yet they still deliver depth, richness, and concentration. The 2023 Cabernet Sauvignon Extended Maceration sports a vivid purple ruby hue as well as the terrific aromatics of cassis, smoky tobacco, violets, and chocolate. It's concentrated and powerful with a medium to full-bodied mouthfeel, ripe tannins, and a great finish. This impeccably made effort blossoms with air and will evolve gracefully over the coming 2 decades or more. The estimated drinking period for this one is 2025 to 2045.
Okay, so we're kind of at the front end of that.
Right, and
All right.
I still have another. I think I have another bottle of it at home. And what? So I believe the original price of this one was about $250. So as always, this when they post the original price, it's because that's if you go to the website of the winery, that's what it's going to show.
Wow.
Um, This one, it's currently offered for $65.
That's not bad at all.
No, and with as I said before in other episodes with Wine Spies, you can go ahead and buy whatever you want. Wait until you get a case, and then they'll ship it to you. The shipping is free. You just if you want it temperature controlled, then that's going to be a little bit extra. But usually, if you're talking about the more moderate months, you're not going to worry about it.
Okay. So a friend of mine who has owned a few bars and worked in bars for years told me recently that when I smell the wine, keep my mouth open, and it's really changed. Like you get a lot more a lot more of the nose of the wine when you do that. I find so.
The chocolate really, really, really comes through.
Yeah, like you can even like smell it a little bit. It's
And
really
then the
interesting.
blackberry.
Wow. So I get a lot of tannin out of that.
Yeah,
Like that to me is that's a little too much on the tannins. Like it's I mean it's the flavor is good, but the tannins really like kick you in the face.
give me all the tannins.
Yeah, that's a bit bold for me.
What I found though is that for me, if it's a richer wine, I can deal with the tannins. But
Yes,
if it's like a Pinot, something where you're getting that lighter cherry, the lighter raspberry, that's where I don't want as much of the tannins.
I feel like I could enjoy this after a while, but I actually wonder if it's kind of like a we might be drinking it a little young,
Oh,
which is why the tannins are so like even though it's not that old, it's I think it's part of it is it hasn't had time to let those tannins settle a
I
little
have
bit.
no doubt, and so it really probably should decant for a bit.
Yeah. So I was reading a thing about not this wine obviously, but my favorite Barolo because I've known you have to drink them old, but that's actually why you have to drink a Barolo old is because the tannins are so forward that it kind of overwhelms everything and it's not really the most pleasant experience. We got that out of the wine Bible that you recommended, Brad. So finally made it to Italy, got through France.
There you go.
So I'm getting there. It's really like I can't say enough how great that book is. My only complaint, I think I said this before, is the wines she recommends. While I'm sure they are delightful, generally are $250 plus a bottle if you can find them.
Cough it up,
Yeah.
you cheap
So
bastard.
yeah, that's not my my typical range. Let's say. Um, I'm I'm not sure I've ever spent that much on a bottle of wine. So.
I don't know if I have.
So yeah, no, this is a nice one though. I think as it sits here
Mhm.
open for a while, it'll probably get better. And you know, again, the tannins really hit you in the teeth though if you're not expecting it. So, but as you mentioned,
Always expect the
that's that
tannin
extended maceration.
inquisition.
So uh, Brad, I guess do you want me to start with something interesting?
Tell me something interesting, Daniel.
Well, I made the news. Well,
What?
I didn't make the news. Well, indirectly I did. So we took our Christmas cruise, and on the Christmas Eve night, I wasn't feeling so great.
Oh, that.
And in the middle of the night, I woke up with a pretty severe stomach bug. You know, I just stayed in the room, tried to hydrate and everything, and it was gone. 24 hours. You know, I was fine. I just stayed in the room, avoided people, didn't spread. You know, Jamie brought me some things. Luckily never got it. But we got off the ship, and like 2 days later, Jamie messages me a news article that 100 people had gotten sick on the ship. It wasn't like like a known virus. It was just an illness that got spread around. And unfortunately, that is kind of a risk on a ship. You know, I blame the children because they get their grubby hands on everything. But you know, it happened. But the rest of the cruise was a delight. You know, I will say I think Jamie and I both agreed we're probably just a little young for celebrity. It's a luxurious experience. Like, and they said that with the exception of Christmas, there are almost never that many children on the ship, and there weren't as many as you would get on a Carnival or a Royal ship. But if you love wine, the wine selection and the wine service at the restaurants is much better. They have people who their name tags say sommelier. I don't know that they all were true sommeliers, but they do definitely have at least one or two who were very knowledgeable about their wine and really made it a nice experience. So that was one thing. Had a great game night for my birthday. Brad came over with his
Yes.
girlfriend. Probably one of my best birthdays ever. Like just a good chill 4-person game night. I beat Brad twice in one evening. Uh, Scrabble and Catopoly.
Catopoly was horrible.
Catopoly got vicious towards the end, man. It was
No one wanted to trade.
No one wanted to trade. My wife stabbed me in the back. Brad's girlfriend really got me on a technicality because I didn't check my language, and yeah, and then yeah, let's see what else I got. Oh yeah, so this past weekend competed in my first pool tournament, which everybody told me they're like, you're gonna be so nervous, and I was like, I've kind of calmed down. I don't get nervous. I was shaking. I was literally like trying to line up a shot, and like my whole body was shaking. I'd have to take a deep breath, but I did win my game. Unfortunately, we lost our match, so we did not advance. But it was a good experience.
So did someone have to die?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's the
Because
consequence.
I mean, otherwise I can't imagine why you would be nervous. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean it's nothing. But I was very happy with how I played, and actually I was pretty happy with how my team played. It's just there's a lot of like gaming that you have to do because everybody has their rank and there's handicaps and like we lost by 2 points, which is really not that much. So we were close.
You should have me compete with you because my
I
handicap
told
would
you
be.
you should compete.
My handicap would like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah, no, I had a great time. Let's see. The only other thing is I've had some really interesting wines that I really enjoyed lately. Uh, Two that I had never had before. Amarone, which I actually now had two because Brad brought one over.
And that I'm still dreaming of that one.
Yeah,
That was fantastic.
I really like the Carmenere, but Amarone may be one of my new favorite varietals. And then I actually tried an Acertico recently, which is like a Greek grape that it's like a really tannic Chardonnay. Which I didn't. I enjoyed it. I had a glass at Disney World, oddly enough, and just had a nice time with it. So yeah, that's it for me. What else? What do you got going on in your life?
Well, I mean, we went the day. What was it? Oh, the Christmas Christmas Eve evening, the evening of Christmas. I met a bunch of Kirsten's family. I ended up meeting a bunch of them, the rest, a week later, and then the next day, before we got on our cruise, she met a bunch of my family, and so it was really interesting on the cruise. Apparently, because I mean we had the drink package, um, I drank quite a bit, and I did not do what we did. I didn't hydrate as much.
Zebra stripe it, man.
So apparently, that evening, I guess I decided I didn't want to wear clothes anymore in the room. Then got out onto the balcony, which thankfully it was an outside balcony and not an inside balcony.
Yeah, they frown upon the clothing option inside balcony.
Then apparently I started yelling for people to look at me. So
oh boy.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Other than that, just I mean, now working a lot. Today's my day off, but I'll be working like 6 days straight.
Wow.
So that is about it. Next cruise is at the beginning of March.
Man.
And that's going to be on Utopia of the Seas. So
that ship is probably one of the coolest ships in terms of like a good balance of like plenty of things to do, the modern technology without being like I know that Royal has the Icon class and I'm sure they're wonderful, but it just looks like they're built to attract families with children. And again, I'm trying to limit my exposure there.
Well, for me, what I found being on Liberty, I just spent a lot more time in the bars.
Yeah.
And there was less people. So like, and I think what was the bar that we went to the most?
Probably the Schooner Bar.
The Schooner Bar. So there's still kids running past there. But when we were on Liberty, and I would be in Vintages a lot of the time, and there's no kids really going in there.
Yeah, I've found that some ships are a lot better designed to steer the children in an opposite direction from where the calm places are. And some ships, like security, will actually kind of say, "Hey, keep it down if you're going to be in here."
Just bring a taser.
Yeah, yeah, that always goes well. Did you hear about? There was a lady. She left out of Florida on a cruise ship. Somehow, security missed that she had a 38 pistol in her purse,
Well, that's nice.
which makes you feel really great. And then she got to Nassau, and
I did hear that.
she got to Nassau, carried it off, and as she was coming back onto the ship, they said, "What is this in your purse?" And unfortunately, Nassau has very strict handgun laws, and she was arrested, taken to court, and was told the fine is $8,000, and she could not pay that, so she went to a Nassau prison, which apparently is quite unpleasant. And her family is saying, "But she's such a nice old granny with a touch of dementia." And my question was,
Why the
why
hell
is
should-
Granny carrying a gun
Yes.
with a touch of dementia? But hey, America.
The more this is sitting out, and
I'm gonna let mine breathe. Don't pour it anymore.
It definitely needs to sit out because the chocolate flavor comes out even more.
Yeah, as
You
it
do.
breathes, the tannins have kind of like that initial shock is.
You know what I think we should do is I think you should pop out some bourbon or something.
I mean, I can
Let's do that. Let's
right.
let this sit out.
entertain our guests.
Let's get physical, physical. I wanna get physical. Let's get into physical. Let me hear your body talk. Is that good?
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
Thank you. I could do like when I was a little bitty boy, my grandmother bought me a cute little toy. Silver bells hanging on a string. She told me it was my ding-a-ling-a-ling. Oh, my.
Ding-a-ling!
My.
Ding-a-ling!
Okay.
All right, there you go.
I'll have some of that old elk.
Well, you're gonna try the Still Austin first.
Did I try that before?
I don't think we've tried the Still Austin on this show. So Still Austin is a bottle. I was at it's almost empty. I was at a the local Total Wine here and went in and I was just like, I'm just looking for something different that's good, that's not gonna break the bank. And this guy said, "Hey, I've been pushing this. It's on sale. It's called Still Austin. It is from Texas, obviously, Austin.
I can't kind of gather that.
And this is just their straight bourbon whiskey, and I think it's pretty good.
Okay.
See what you think of it. Yeah, we can drink a little whiskey while we wait on. I don't have a lot, so I gotta ration it.
And that's okay.
It's okay.
And
No,
that-
it's
and that-
Austin, Texas. It's not okay. That's Oklahoma brand. Sorry, can't help myself.
So, we gonna get into the topic?
Yeah, so the topic I had, I don't remember what made me think of it. I just thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about, like, kind of your ideal party. If you could invite people from history. I think originally I had mentioned, like, history or fiction, but we talked about it and decided we'd just be easier to do real people because real people are easier to...
Santa's real, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, I think what we're going to do is kind of talk about our parties and how we think they'll go and what the theme might be, and then maybe where they're going to happen or something like that. And then just go through who will be at our parties and maybe how they'll interact and how we see things going. So, Brad, why don't you kick us off with the theme of your party?
So the theme of mine is that it's defining moment of our lives.
That's
So
very
so
well thought out theme.
that's something that every guest at my dinner party is going to have a moment to talk about what was the one moment or moments in their lives which made them who they are.
Huh. My party, A, is not a dinner party, and B, is much less structured. my party was going to begin with a cocktail hour, nice little just get together and talk about life, you know, in general, and then followed by a nice little jam session, music, we'll sing along, have a little fun, and followed by just everybody waking up the next morning wondering where their pants are and why they're 2 states away from where they started.
I don't think that my party is going to get that excessive. I think my party is a little bit more cerebral.
Okay, I've got a few.
I mean, there's probably going to be some performances going on over there. A lot of fun is going to be had at my party,
Okay,
and a lot of wine will be imbibed.
I've got one guy coming to my party that either it's going to be like a really unexpected great time having him there, or he's going to be appalled and leave early. So let's dive right
That's it, to me. The first person that comes to mind with that is Larry David.
in. Yeah, that would work as well. Oddly enough, not him, and quite a different direction.
Yeah.
But let's go with your party first, Brad. Who are you gonna start with? On
All
your
right,
party?
first person on my list, David Bowie.
Hey, he's coming to my party too. All right.
Yeah, he's coming to mine first.
Excellent. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
David Bowie. I love him as a musician. He's an actor as well. Just some of my favorite songs are by David Bowie, including with Queen. Um,
Pressure.
yeah, Under Pressure. You've got one of my probably one of my top 10 songs, Heroes.
Yeah, that I heard that the other day, and I was like, oh man, that song always just gives me chills.
But I would love to hear from him what really guided him as an artist. I mean, he went through so many phases in his career,
Yeah.
and now I don't know if you realize this, that he kind of like Freddie Mercury, he was working to the very end
Yeah.
on his album.
Yeah, and like such a broad range of flavors to his music. Just went in a lot of like experimental directions. Just tried a little bit of everything, and I love that like he kind of just refused to fit into any category in many ways. Like even like gender, he the way he dressed, the way he did makeup, and just he had a style that he chose of his own, and he lived it however he wanted on it without any shame. Like he just, I love it. I love that unapologetic, creative nature about him.
Let me ask you this question: should we institute a rule?
Okay,
If one person is mentioned, you have to come up with a substitute.
a substitute, huh?
So you can't have David Bowie anymore.
All right. Well, I already have one of the other people you mentioned. So, but yeah, I'll think through that. I don't know
All
that
right.
I can, but I will try.
All right. Well, who's your first person?
Well, my first person was to ensure that we all wake up wondering where our pants are and why we're 2 states away. Um, I went through this phase when I was in high school, late high school, in the couple years after, where I read a lot of beat literature and like hippie literature. And Ken Kesey, the guy
Okay.
that wrote One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, he uh, he was quite the partier. He was actually he bought a bus at one point that was painted in all sorts of psychedelic colors, and they wrote a book about it. Another author wrote a book about it called The Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test, um, where they basically would just travel the country picking up hippies and doing drugs and just getting wild. And Ken Kesey, if you've never read One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, it's a great novel. But an interesting guy all around. Definitely part of that 60s hippie culture. But I figured he'd make sure the party went in an interesting direction.
So you didn't invite Hunter S. Thompson.
No.
You
but
thought about
you know
it.
What? You know what? That might have to be my extra person. Yeah, fire me out of a cannon when I'm dead. That's, yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah, Ken Kesey was definitely a thought just because I loved beat literature, and Jack Kerouac would be an interesting one too, because he kind of, that on the road, man. Like if you want to read a book that'll just really make you think about the journey, on the road was a great one. And beat culture caught a lot of flack because it was a lot of people who just kind of were probably viewed as lost and junkies and whatever. But I think it spoke to the country in a way that inspired the hippies and probably the rest of history since in America. So, all right, Brad, what do you got next?
Okay. Well, my next guy, he was uh, an amazing performer, comedian, actor with energy that is unmatched by anyone throughout all of history.
Carrot Top.
No, not Carrot Top.
Martin Short.
Not Martin Short. No, this guy, he started out as a stand-up comedian and was discovered when he had a small bit part on Happy Days, and which led to his own show called Mork and Mindy. I'm talking about
okay.
Robin Williams.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
You wanna keep and you wanna make sure a party is happening. Invite Robin Williams.
Absolutely.
Of course, alive, not right
Yeah,
now.
I mean, Robin Williams. Yeah, like that's a good one. Like he, so many good films, so much good comedy, and
Such an amazing actor.
yeah,
I mean,
just the range is again, it's the range.
you
It's,
talking about The World According to Garp?
Yep.
That was just, if you've never seen that movie, uh, you absolutely have to see it. It's the Robin Williams you've never seen before. Um, it does get a little bit graphic in some parts. Um, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
It's been a long time since I saw it.
His wife was cheating on him,
Uh-huh.
and going down on a guy in a
Oh,
Volvo,
okay.
and then the car crashed into it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
so
you know, so sad what happened with him. A friend of mine always says, check on your funny friends because, like, a lot of the time that's the mask we wear.
that's why you're always calling me.
Yeah. No, like, but it was kind of interesting. He did a movie at one point called "What Dreams May Come," right? Wasn't that
Yeah,
kind of a dark movie?
that was with was it with Cuba Gooding Jr.?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dealt with suicide. It was kind of a like when Robin Williams did ultimately sadly take his own life. Rewatching that movie was kind of a weird experience. But yeah, but no, I definitely agree with you. Robin Williams, icon of America's cinema, comedy, and even his interviews. Like if you ever get to watch some of his interviews with late night hosts and things, just an all around neat guy that wish I had the opportunity to know for sure. So I actually went with a humorist for my next choice, Mark Twain.
Okay.
Going back a little bit, I don't know how he would mesh with some of the other people at the party, but I think his character and wit, Mark Twain, wrote a lot of great novels. Started out early with Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn, and stuff, but just really had that wit to and that biting tongue of like unashamedly attacking someone in a humorous way, in a fun way, that wasn't really. I guess he was nice enough to be accepted. I mean, I've never read that people really didn't like him. One thing I did learn in my brief research prior to doing this was apparently he was friends with Nikola Tesla.
Yes, he was.
He was
Yeah.
apparently like really fascinated by science and invention. He actually like participated in the invention of some kind of printing press that didn't work out. But yeah, like neat guy. I read his autobiography. I forget the name of it a while back. Just a really interesting guy. He actually insisted that his autobiography not be released for 100 years after his death. He wanted to wait.
That's wild.
Yeah, like
But why 100 years?
I don't know.
To make sure he was dead?
Yeah, well, I think it's probably just because like the people who were his critics were long since dead at that point. Like no one would be around to dispute it. Like I mean, I guess his grandchildren could, but like no one would be around to authoritatively say this was false,
Right.
or question it, and I can appreciate that. So anyway, yeah, I think Mark Twain. get a couple drinks in them. Would have some interesting commentary on everything about that was going on at the party.
All right then. Well, my next one, he's a very prolific, was a very prolific humorist, science fiction writer. He wrote for Monty Python's Flying Circus. He wrote for Doctor Who,
Okay.
and he single-handedly made extremely popular the number 42.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Douglas Adams.
Yes, Douglas Adams, man. That book is frequently quoted by me and some of my coworkers.
So I actually got a chance to see him talk.
Oh wow.
This was right, I want to say within a few years before he passed away. I was living in Miami at the time, and he was promoting his book, and I'm trying to remember the name of the book right now. Oh, it was Last Chance to See, where he talked about animals that were going extinct. So he spoke there and actually read an excerpt from one of the Hitchhiker books.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
I will say, and this is even if you're not a lover of science fiction, I don't think anybody could read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and the other book. Like there's multiple books in that anthology, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, it was called a trilogy for many years, even though there were 4 books.
Yeah. But like it's goofy, it's fun, but it is so memorable, and there are just these moments where you read it and he uses his striking wit for to make a commentary on humanity. Was Earth Mostly Harmless?
Yeah.
Or no, it was originally
It is.
Harmless, and then
And
they changed it to
mostly harmless.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
So-
you discover that the mice are actually the intelligent ones, and they're
Yeah.
making us go through mazes.
Yeah. So definitely, yeah, that's a good choice. I like that one, Brad. That's
Oh.
yeah. Your party's a lot more cerebral than mine.
I think my party's a lot more fun to begin with.
I mean, depends on what your definition
Well.
of fun is. My next person is Zelda Fitzgerald. So F.
Yeah.
Scott Fitzgerald's wife, Zelda, was widely considered to be the first American flapper girl. She and Scott just partied like nonstop to the point where they were thrown out of like multiple New York City hotels. Like
Wow.
they at one point fully clothed dove into the Plaza Hotel's fountain and were playing around. They actually got kicked out of so many hotels they had to buy a house so that they could continue to live in New York. Yeah. So yeah, they were the wild bunch. They would like hire taxis and ride around on the hoods. And like I said, there's a movie called Midnight in Paris. If you ever get a chance to watch it, worth watching. That kind of is loosely based on their antics when they were in Paris. Again, seems like would have been a fun person to have at a party. There will be dancing at my party and shenanigans. Apparently, they were like pulling pranks on one another too at these hotels. That's part of the reason they got
All
kicked
right
out.
then.
So F. Scott Fitzgerald was one of my favorite authors, or is one of my favorite authors of all time. So I read the Great Gatsby, probably once every other year. So yeah, you don't have a lot to say about that.
No, I've got nothing to say about that.
All right, go for it, Brad.
My next one, had he not been around, the Beatles would not be who they are.
Okay.
And we most likely would have never seen the amazing movies like Monty Python and the Holy Grail, The Life of Brian.
Okay.
I think it was the Life of Brian that George Harrison single-handedly produced and put up his own money, mortgaging his own house to make that. He was such a fan of and friend of theirs.
I didn't realize.
But yeah.
George Harrison was the My Sweet Lord guy, right?
That is true.
Great song.
Yeah.
Great song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he came up with some of the Beatles' greatest ones. Talking about "While My Guitar Gently Weeps,"
Yeah.
something. So interestingly enough, so uh, when he was doing "While My Guitar Gently Weeps," you may not know, but he brought in one of his good friends to play guitar because if he didn't do that, Paul and John would have been less likely to allow George to put his song up there
Really?
because he wasn't really recognized at that point. It was really Paul and John, and then once in a while.
Okay.
But Eric Clapton was such a renowned guitarist that he can get that on there. Let's give this song a shot.
Clapton is definitely one of my favorite like rock guitarists, like or guitarists in general, I guess. Yeah, but yeah, I did not realize that that all that had gone on. I actually like thought about putting one of the Beatles down, but it's kind of hard to separate them as a group unless you're Yoko Ono. So uh,
Oh,
I actually stayed at the hotel recently. I did you know they broke up from the Polynesian Hotel at Disney?
they broke up in the Polynesian
Well,
Hotel?
like John Lennon faxed the like breakup notice or letter or whatever from the Polynesian Hotel at
Oh
Disney
wow.
World. Yeah, like we were staying there, we were hanging out with some friends, and they were like, yeah, it's kind of weird. Like no one will talk about it. Like you can ask, like where was it? Like which room was it? Blah blah blah. And they're like, no, we don't know or whatever. But yeah, it's apparently the Polynesian Hotel at Disney World
Oh, that's
was
wild.
yeah. So, but yeah, I struggled to choose a Beatle, so I just left them out of it.
I thought about it, and I thought John, but I decided against him for the same reason I decided against Prince,
Okay.
because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know which version of them you're going to get.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I decided no. And then, excuse me, Paul's a great guy, but I thought for conversation wise, I thought George.
Yeah, I could see him being like probably the more interesting character in some ways.
Yeah, because I mean, he had such close ties to all kinds of different ones.
Well, you mentioned Freddie Mercury, and I will say Freddie Mercury, one of my favorite artists of all time. I love the difference in styles. The range that he had was just incredible. I actually, when I was growing up, my uncle um, had quite the music collection of 8-track CDs, tapes, everything. And I kind of absconded with his Queen album uh, early on because I loved it so much. I mean, I'd bring it back, but I'd be like, but take this for a while, but borrow it for an extended play session. But to me, again, because I wanted to have sort of this musical jam session, I felt like David Bowie and he probably I don't know if they actually got along or even met in real life. I'm sure they did, but I feel like they would have gotten along well and it would be a fun group to hang around.
Wait, who?
Well, yeah, they met because they were on the.
I was
they-
gonna.
the
I
song.
was gonna say.
Yeah, sorry,
I'm like. I was like. Wait, you got to be talking about someone else then.
No,
I'm
I'm just being stupid. No, but yeah, so I would I'd go with Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
All right.
Like
I'm
he was a good guy,
And
like,
I'm sure he's got some crazy stories to tell.
yeah, and like I mean, I think that what I've known about his life and what I've learned about his life, like he went through some stuff. He had a struggle and came out on top as well as you can when you end up dying of a disease that honestly we ignored and probably to this day sort of frown upon. But no, like I said, I respect the guy and want him at my party. So go for it, Brad.
All right. Well, my next guy, he's a comic that people still talk about as being a major influence today, years after he passed away. He is probably the one person on my list that you don't know what you're going to get from him, because he's not a person that you can tell him what to do. He's a person that's going to do whatever it is that he wants to. Uh,
Can I guess this one?
you can guess.
George Carlin.
I knew that's what was on your mind. Nope. This is a after George Carlin.
Okay.
So this gentleman was high.
Mitch Hedberg.
Actually, I originally had Mitch Hedberg on my list, but I took him off. And the person that is on my list was recognized for a character that he played, and then was hired for this comedy, the show, little show that called Taxi. And he was on the very first episode of, I believe it was on very first episode of Saturday Night Live, where all he did was play the theme song to Mickey Mouse, to Mighty Mouse. Here I come to save the day.
Oh, it was
Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman. Yeah.
Fantastic movie about his life. Man on the Moon.
Yeah.
Starring Jim Carrey.
Also a
Which-
great REM song.
So Jim Carrey apparently really he really went into method acting when that. So
And you could tell. Like you could tell
he
that
became
was,
Andy Kaufman.
Yeah. Like I said, that was a really good movie. It's kind of weird in some ways, but Andy Kaufman was kind of a weird guy.
Very, very weird. And years later, he did that whole wrestling women thing, and
Mhm.
he had the fight with was it Lawler? I can't remember that.
Jerry Lawler. Yeah.
Jerry Lawler, which you find out years later was all faked.
Well, that's what wrestling is. Yeah.
Yeah, but they would get violent. I mean, it was amazing. But Andy, it's kind of like he wanted to do his own thing, and once he was expected to do that, then he never didn't want to do that anymore.
Yeah. He was definitely like the kind of guy who just didn't want to be told what to do.
Right.
Yeah. So I could see that being a really interesting person to have at a party, especially a boring party like yours.
Boring? Boring. Okay. You just wait.
Boring dinner
Boring.
party. Blah. Sorry.
You've got your people over there eating little finger sandwiches and going, oh.
Hey, look, I started with Ken Kesey. Come on, man. All right.
I started with David Bowie.
Fair. So my next guest is also an SNL guy, Bill Murray.
Okay. Oh, that's a good one.
So I honestly as much as I love all of his films and stuff, like Caddyshack, God, like quoting Caddyshack is just a ritual for me now. But like he's done so many good movies: Scrooged, Groundhog Day, Ghostbusters. Even his appearance in Zombieland was great.
That was fantastic.
I just love the guy. I remember watching Stripes with my dad when I was pretty young.
That's fantastic.
I watched Stripes with my dad when I was young enough to not actually properly appreciate the shower scene. So yeah, like I was very young, but Stripes is one of my favorites.
I watch Groundhog Day pretty much every year.
Yeah. Did you realize that Bill Murray was Letterman's final guest?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, like the last show was Bill Murray apparently. So,
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I love his character, and I've actually heard, like, I know he's been part owner in multiple baseball teams.
Yeah.
Makes showings at baseball games all the time. I do think he's been like, sadly, part of the Me Too thing, and I can't account for his behavior, but I don't think it takes away from his art. But apparently, like, he also like will crash parties. Like if he's out and about and sees like an open door where they're having a party, he'll just stroll on in and crash the party. So I feel like inviting him to the party is a must. And he just seems like he'd be a fun guy to have around. His character in Caddyshack, man, he just did so well. And there's a documentary about Caddyshack out right now, in the making of, and to realize like he basically just came in, filmed, and left. Like it was like he was in such high demand, and it was just a a weird thing, but he just nailed it.
It was supposed to be even a much smaller part.
Yeah, like he was supposed to be nobody, and he really like made the movie. They kind of redid the movie. Like when they first screened it for the directors, they were like, "Oh God, like this isn't gonna work."
Yeah.
And they made the movie, and to me, he made that movie. Like they really built it around him.
And he and Chevy did not get along at that
No,
time.
they hated each other. It was not good. So, but yeah, Bill Murray, I feel like he'd be a good time to have at a party, and a really interesting time, just based on some of the interviews and things I've seen with him.
All right. Well, I'm going to really blow your mind with my next one because uh, I don't think you would have ever guessed me naming this one.
Okay.
This gentleman, without him, who's to say where we would all be today? Okay. I'm talking about No, I'm kidding. No, it's I'm talking about the father of our country, George Washington.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Wooden teeth and
So
all.
because I would love to have a conversation with him and find out what was in his head at that point in time.
Yeah, what did you actually envision?
What did he envision our country becoming? And also ask him, hey, what do you think about what's going on right now?
No, I could see that being a really, really cool conversation. And if my party were not just a wild disaster that I was planning,
You got just a bunch of meth addicts.
pretty much. But no, like yeah, I mean, I think I've often wondered like about how the founders would see what's going on today, and what they actually envisioned. I mean, luckily for us, they wrote down a lot of their thoughts. I do think that's an art that's been lost. So yeah, I could see George Washington. I like reading his farewell address is something that every human being should do, but especially Americans, to understand why he didn't want to be king. Because they wanted to make him king,
Mm-hmm.
and he chose to not do that. And
They were trying to come up with several different terms, but each one was too close to
yeah,
king.
the challenge of ego to not want to be a dictator and a monarch is admirable. And yeah, I would love to like that. I would love to come to your party, Brad.
I know
If
you
I
would.
can be invited to
But
your party, your party has redeemed itself.
Sorry, you're not invited. You're not famous enough.
Okay, all right. Well, hey, I am internationally available.
You know what? You could be the bartender.
All right, fair. I'll just be the help. Okay.
Right.
All right. So my next person is probably like, well, yeah, probably the least famous of all these people, but I absolutely loved her in everything that I know that she's done. Um, Grace Jones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like Grace Jones was a model, like supermodel level model.
I would love to ask her what the fuck was going through their mind when they came up with "We Built This City."
Yes, like but she was sexy as hell. Like, man, young Grace Jones was woo. Turn on Conan the Destroyer.
Oh, God, it's been years.
Yeah, like check out, like if you haven't seen Conan Destroyer, check out Grace Jones in
Wait.
Conan the Destroyer.
Oh, you know what? I
You're thinking
completely.
of somebody else.
I was thinking of Grace Slick.
But Grace Jones might
No,
have,
Grace-
like, she
Grace
apparently
Jones,
had
oh,
quite
yeah.
the musically talented.
No,
So I was
yeah,
like,
no,
okay.
yeah. That's why I was thinking of Grace Slick.
But apparently she was like Grace Jones was part of the Studio 54 scene. Like,
Oh, God.
she was quite the disco queen. And then
Yeah.
she got into acting with Conan, like got the
Yeah.
She was in A View to a Kill. She had a great role in that.
She had in the 80s. She had a lot of really good, scenes, and she always played a badass.
Right, like she and just fierce. Like she was like the powerful woman. Like
Yeah.
she like in an era when women were still kind of like treated as lesser. Like in the 80s, we had started to have films where women had strength. You obviously had Dolly Parton 9 to 5, but like we were kind of building up to it. But Grace Jones was like powerful in every role I could think of with her. And
She was a Nubian queen.
But yeah, no, I think Grace Jones. Like when I started thinking about it, like I think you got to have some beauty at your party, and
Okay.
Grace Jones is
I'm the
it.
beauty at my party.
Oh, okay, all right, that's fair.
Well, my next guest wants you to think. Think about what you're trying to do to me. We are talking about no
You better
other than the
think about
Queen
what you're
of
trying to do to
Soul,
me.
Aretha Franklin.
Yes, I actually watched Blues Brothers the other day
Did
for
you?
the first time in ages, and I had forgotten about how great she was. Like she just like as much as I love that song, if you don't get to see her perform it in like that little section of the film,
Mm-hmm.
like it's so well done the way they work that in, and she does such a good job. Um, no, I
Yeah, I'm not a fan of a lot of um, ones where they're trying to force the song into there,
but it just
but
works.
but that as well as the dentist from Little Shop of Horrors,
Yes,
those just work.
yeah,
Those work. Um, but Aretha, she came up in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and the people that she worked with, she worked with oh my God, George Michael.
yep,
The stories that she must have.
yeah.
And you know what? I can't wait for my party because I'm gonna get a duet. I'm gonna actually get a duet. George, love you, but I want to hear Bowie and Franklin sing together.
Oh yeah, like God. It's interesting how many musicians we chose. Like I think that both of us kind of had this idea that there would be this musical energy to our like I feel like you've had a couple. I've
I
definitely
just picked three. Three
yeah,
of three of my 10.
I've got one, two I got I got two more coming. So
I think my list is more well rounded.
yeah, I was going for more of a party vibe.
Okay.
You're
You like
like dinner party.
I think mine more fun. I
Okay.
mean, I've got all well rounded. I'm gonna have just an amazing party.
It's gonna be
You're
like
gonna
Brad's retirement
you're
party.
gonna be you're gonna be like, oh, my book is written better.
No, I'm gonna be like,
No, I've got
honey,
the better
where are
written
my
book.
pants?
Okay.
You haven't seen the
Wait,
Lego movie?
have you seen your list?
Have you have you have you seen the Lego movie?
No.
Oh man, you got to see the Lego movie. Honey, where are my pants? If you're listening, please send Brad a message on the book face and say I know what he's talking about, and I appreciate it.
Whatever.
All right,
Is that the movie where it's that kid building the Legos and then you've got Will Arnett playing Batman?
there was a Batman Lego movie, but I don't think Batman made an appearance in the first Lego movie.
Oh, okay.
So,
All
but
right.
I will say the Batman Lego movie is also great. But yeah, the Lego movie's amazing.
All right.
All right. So, my next person, another musician, and this is kind of like for that chill vibe when the party's just getting a little too energetic and a little too wild. Bob Marley.
Barbara. Okay.
So like
I was about to say all green.
I really love like Bob Marley's I love his music. I mean, obviously like if you don't love Bob Marley's music, there's something wrong with you and you should be excommunicated from humanity. Um that's a thing now. But just he was just a chill guy, a peace loving guy, and like a deeply spiritual human being. Like I really, well, I'm not like a religious person by any means. I always like I respect someone. Well, I haven't always, but I do respect someone who's like deeply spiritual and like believes in something passionately. And I feel like Bob Marley like believed what he said and really believed that we should love and like you know be one and be together and just get along and yeah, I feel like Bob Marley would bring a chill vibe to the party that would everyone would need.
So my dad I grew up with my dad playing Bob Marley, Peter Tosh,
Okay.
all that. Fun little fact, I grew up in Miami, and so I went to high school, uh, went to Palmetto, and was in the band. And when I graduated, I ended up getting a newspaper article from my mother because one of my friends that I grew up with over there that was in the band, super nice guy. His name was Anthony Booker.
Okay.
Okay, so I didn't know it at the time, but he was half brother to Bob Marley.
Really?
Yeah, so I believe his mom's last name is Booker.
Okay. I
Um,
did not know that.
so yeah, apparently he went to Jamaica after graduation, came back a different person. Um, just became like emaciated, wearing like robes and stuff. And apparently he was walking around, I think it was Cutler Ridge Mall, um, the parking lot with a shotgun going, "Hey, where are you? I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna kill you." Like like whacked out of his mind. And then he
Wow.
was shot and killed. But before that, he was the nicest guy you could ever meet.
I mean, I can't speak to what happened to that person, but like, I've actually spoken to many people from many different walks of life, and it sounds like obviously there was a mental health crisis going on there. And it seems almost universal if you ask people, like, no matter what political beliefs they have, anyone in America will tell you we do not help people with mental health. And yeah, it's sad, man.
Yeah.
Like that sucks. I mean,
Yeah.
Robin Williams, another good. You mentioned Robin Williams. Like, I don't. I mean, I don't know his situation, but like,
No, he passed away at the end because he had a severe illness that was affecting him.
yeah. But I mean,
Um,
that's the thing is like, there's a lot of mental health that goes around, even with illness, that we
yeah,
don't address. We're like, oh well, here's a pill, you're fine.
yeah. Well, with him, what caused him to commit suicide was that illness was affecting his mind,
Okay.
and so he decided to end it before the disease ended himself.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's kind of like you say you want people to remember you as
Yeah.
you were. Um,
And I can relate to that. I mean, my grandfather um, had dementia, and in the I I regret it some days, but in the later years of his life, I think I saw him. I'd see him at party like Thanksgiving and things, and he wasn't. He just wasn't who I remembered. And I did get to see him once, and there was this moment, probably about a year before he died, that I went over. Pete was always an early riser. He like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. And I was up. I just was up, and I just drove over. And sorry, we're really diverging, but you know, fine. I drove over, went to his house. He had this upstairs that they slept with the door open, so I yelled up, "Pete, Pete!" And my grandmother woke him up, sent him down, and there was this probably 2 hour period where he was completely lucid, and he made us breakfast. We sat, had coffee, we talked, and it was probably one of the best 2 hours of my life. And you know, I don't I don't think I ever saw him after that. And I went to the memorial where we talked like we're with him, but I didn't go to a funeral. I just couldn't do it and couldn't make it emotionally. But yeah, sorry.
that's
Weird diversion.
that's all right.
Needed to talk about it. So
It's
yeah,
okay.
if you knew Pete, yeah, great guy.
Cheers, Pete.
If we were doing family, he would definitely be at my party.
Well, the next on my list is one of the one of the greatest speakers of our time, and frankly, one of the best presidents that we've had.
Okay.
So I'm talking about Mr. Barack Obama.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Donald Trump.
I would love. I would
Sorry,
love.
we're not doing politics, but okay, go ahead.
But I
Continue.
would love, because I don't care what politics you have. I would love to ask him what was going through his mind when those idiots were saying that he wasn't a native born citizen. I mean, it's like, how much proof can you give? Um,
Yeah.
I would love to have that conversation with him. I would like to know, as I said, what happened to him that made him who he is.
Yeah. I actually like his autobiography, I think, maybe biography. Like there's one that he was involved in that like I really would like to. It was something about his father. I forget the name of
Yeah.
it. Like I should probably read that. My wife read Michelle Obama's uh, um, biography, and actually, sorry, another diversion because I've been drinking. It's your fault. Uh, she apparently her mother's last words were, "Wow, that was fast."
What?
Yeah, let that sink in. But no, yeah, I'm with you on that. Like he was so articulate in his speaking, and I know all presidents have speechwriters, but
Followed his?
he actually followed his. Wasn't Aziz Ansari one of his speechwriters or something? Like there was a famous comedian.
It's not Aziz Ansari. Oh my God. Um,
Like he chose good speechwriters.
yeah.
But he understood the pause. He understood um, emphasis. He just I agree. I think he's a very interesting character, and the experiences he went through that no other president had to go through, um, I think would make it it'd be an interesting addition, Brett.
Um. Oh, so John Favreau
Really?
was a speechwriter for
Okay.
Obama. But it was I know that um there was another
famous
personality that oh, it was the guy who was in the White Castle thing.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Harold and Kumar. Yes.
Yeah, Kumar.
Yeah.
The
It was
guy who played
That's
Kumar.
right. I forget his name, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know necessarily if he was a speechwriter, but he served at the White House.
Yeah. So no, like I said, I that would be an interesting person to have at a party, if you wanted a boring party.
Really? Who do you have next?
All right. Well, my next one actually could either make or break the party. And you kind of alluded to this. So just because I've always had this like really curious mind about Jesus, because this is a guy who we think lived, and we're pretty sure there was a person um, that experienced some things, and uh, said some really good things, had some really good ideas, and the ideas did not mesh with the people in power, and he was executed because of it.
So your guess is Jesus?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you invite him to the party and you start talking to him and he goes, "Dude, I was just trying to get laid."
Yeah, like that's the thing is like I feel like he'd either be like really awkward because he was like, "Look, guys, like you're not supposed to be behaving this way," or he'd be actually a really cool, down to earth. I mean, the dude turned water into wine for thousands of people. Like, come on, like he didn't turn water into like sweet tea. He I feel like he'd probably be a much more like cool, down to earth guy.
Maybe if he was in the South, he would have.
And he was a carpenter. Like, have you met a carpenter, especially in the South? Like, they're generally good time loving guys.
So you're gonna hire Jesus to build stuff?
No, I'm just gonna have him there. Like, I feel like he would get along with everybody in a really interesting way. And even if you don't think of him as divine, like I feel like if we believe the message that we received from the church, um, he was probably a pretty decent, cool guy. He wandered around finding you know, just random people. And be
Wants
like,
to
hey, come
help.
with me. We're going to a party.
Wants to help people.
Yeah.
Feed the poor.
Threw a great
Heal
dinner
the
party
sick.
there at the end.
Yeah.
Except for that whole like one of you's gonna betray me.
Yeah.
Dick.
Asshole.
All right. All right, Brad. What else you got?
All right. Well, my next one. You know, you and him share something in common. You're both meatheads. Meathead.
You consider me a meathead?
I don't know. It sounded good. Not mead. Meat.
Oh, okay.
Meathead.
Actually, honestly, meathead probably would have made more
Yeah.
sense. But go ahead.
But Rob Reiner,
Oh.
who got the start really All in the Family.
Okay.
His father would have been a great one too, Carl Reiner, who is. Are you familiar?
I'm too young.
Carl Reiner,
You're the old
amazing comedic actor, comedian. Wrote a lot of stuff with Mel Brooks.
Oh yeah, all right.
So, but Rob Reiner started.
Mel Brooks would be a good person
Yeah.
to get a party too.
So Rob Reiner started with All in the Family. He was the director, and I believe, might have been producer of The Princess Bride.
Really?
Okay. He directed When Harry Met Sally.
I did know that.
Did you know that his mother was in the movie?
No.
I'll have what she's having.
Really?
That was his mother.
Okay.
That was his mother. So he was responsible for a lot of the great movies of today.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I could see that being like a really interesting character. But like I said, Mel Brooks would also be a good one.
Mel Brooks would have
been
been really good.
Yeah. My next one is more back to the music thing, and just because a guy I would love to share a whiskey with and just talk about life and just everything. Frank Sinatra.
Okay.
Like when you listen, like I actually didn't research how much he was involved in the writing of his songs, but like
he wasn't.
He wasn't at all.
No, that was no.
Okay, well, I like the songs he sang and the life he lived. What I know of it just seemed incredible. Like just like the whole like the Rat Pack and all that stuff. Like just like seemed like a really cool guy, and he seems like the kind of guy you just want to sit and just have a cigarette and a glass of whiskey and talk all night. And I feel like he'd be a great addition to the party. And also, like I think it goes with like again 1, 2, 3, 4. I got three other musicians here, so I feel like a jam session with everybody singing along would be fun.
So Frank, he didn't write any of the music.
Okay.
And he received co-writing credit on a few of them.
Okay.
And I'm gonna assume it's basically because he might have tweaked a little bit, but for the majority of it, he was an interpreter of the songs. But
he interpreted the hell out of them.
Yeah, just fantastic.
Like just like his energy in some of the I mean seriously like
his swagger.
If you can listen to My Way and not just kind of get chills, there's something wrong with you. So, but anyway.
I did that. I did that Ladies and Tramp on our cruise.
See, like that was one of my lesser like favorites. Like I mean, it's all right, but like
so when you think you hear Tramp, but when you understand what is being said is that lady is a tramp. It means that lady is someone who wants to live her life her own way.
Yeah, I get the song.
But I love that's a great song.
Yeah, it's just not like it's not one of my favorites, but yeah, like I said, every once in a while I'll get in a Frank kick and I'll just like pop it on and listen for every time I'm in the car. It's great.
There you go. All right. Well, my last one is now here's the one. This guy is an amazing comedic actor. I want to say he has his roots in improv. He's a bit of a wild card.
Okay.
Every part that I've seen him play in, he's pretty much kind of a similar character, and it's always, what the fuck did he just say?
Okay.
I'm talking about Jason Mantzoukas.
I have no idea who that
So
is.
did you ever watch The League?
Yes.
Okay, Rafi.
Okay, I didn't
The
watch it that well.
the brother of Sophie, the one who would eat pocket dogs.
I would probably like. I think I know who you're talking about.
Okay.
But like, it's been like that was not. It doesn't. That show didn't stand out.
So
to me, so.
I watched that show probably once a year the entire
Oh wow.
the
Okay.
entire run. It's hilarious.
All right.
Also, did you watch The Good Place?
Yes.
Okay. Well, he was the one that they created him.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about now. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, they
All right.
created him, and
Doug? No, not Doug.
I don't remember the name.
Derek.
But he
Derek.
played the same kind of Gary. You
Okay.
you didn't know what he was going to do or say.
Yeah. No, I could see that being a great one. Yeah, he'd be a fun guy.
He's one that I need to actively search out, and see if he's been in any movies, because I just got to see him. I mean, I'm like watching the show, and he's talking about being in a relationship with a watermelon, and he's introducing the watermelon. This is on The League. He's introducing the watermelon to two of the other characters, and they're like, "Is it consensual?" He goes, "This is," and then he flips it over. "This isn't." Please, no kids watching this episode.
Lord. Yeah.
We're
gonna have to put a
but
rating
it's
on this one.
it's one of those where it's like, I can't. I mean, it does. Okay, but to be fair, what's that? The Boys.
Yes.
The Boys makes The League look completely G-rated.
The Boys makes pretty much everything look G-rated.
Right.
Like it's a great amusing show, but just be warned.
It's just your eyes keep getting bigger and bigger about what they have no hesitation at doing.
When you think they've reached the limits of what they can air on Amazon,
nope,
they find a new limit.
Yep. Yeah. So, who's your last person?
My last person, because I had to add one since you chose David Bowie before me. I chose Jon Stewart. Like, he is a guy. So, honestly, he's been in movies. I know he has.
He was
he's done a lot of
with Adam Sandler.
Yeah, he's done a lot of stand up. Like he's actually got a lot of claims to fame. But honestly, nothing even compares to his I don't know if it's character. I think it's him. His participation in the Daily Show.
No, that's him.
He's so honest and so cutting in his wit and his intelligence and just everything about him. He sees through the bullshit, and he's not afraid to say, like, hey, no. So I feel like Jon Stewart would be the guy at the party who, when me and Ken got a little wild, was like, hey, cut that out. Like, just like, hey, cut it out. And, if anything got out of hand, Jon Stewart would be the voice of reason. Jon Stewart, I feel like, is the guy who talked to the cops if we needed him to.
He's the one that talked to, I think it was Congress, when the first responders weren't being treated correctly, from 9/11.
Yeah.
So.
No, he is one of the people that I probably admire the most in this world. He's very caring and understanding and very thoughtful. And again, not afraid to speak to power in kind of an aggressive way when necessary. But also comes across in a very loving and caring way. I mean, I remember when horrible things happened throughout his tenure at Comedy Central and Daily Show. He would take a minute to step back. I mean, he and Colbert also did it, but like he especially has this calming personality of like being able to just say like, hey, I want to step away from my role as a comedian here and really speak to our shared existence as humans, and 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 talk about what's real and what's important. And I feel like that's something that's being lost in the world. And so yeah, Jon Stewart I think would be a good addition to my party. He also seems like he'd be fun. Like I feel like he could throw down and be a fun guy
Absolutely.
with my whole waking up wearing
Yeah.
my pants.
I'm going to say I like some of the ones on your list, but I would enjoy my party a lot more.
No, honestly, like depending on my mood, I would enjoy your party a lot more. But today I'm in a like let's throw down and
You're in a
dance.
cerebral.
No,
Cere-
no,
cer-
I'm in a let's eat, drink, and be
oh,
merry
jeez.
kind of mode right now. That's why you're gonna
Well,
drive. That's why you're gonna drive me to Cooper's Hawk later.
I guess I saw Fitzgerald and I was
You
just
saw
thinking
Fist what? Hey,
Fitzgerald.
look, man, you got to pay extra for that. There's going to be age verification.
Okay. All right, moving on. So what's happening on Reddit?
Oh, I forgot about this part.
So, am I the asshole for expecting my husband to cook dinner? So, on New Year's Eve, I found out my husband betrayed me and lied to me about it consistently for 3 years. Not cheating, but violating certain boundaries we both have in our relationship and then lying about it.
Like the backseat of a Volkswagen.
So, our relationship, she said, not cheating. Our relationship has been rocky since. I've been wanting to leave. He's been convincing me he's going to make it work. He's booked therapy. Deeply apologetic. Can't bear to lose me. Cooking for me, cleaning, etc. It's been very nice of him. Tonight I went to my mom's. I'm not going to lie. I know this is sad. My husband is my best friend. He is my rock, my baby. We always kept each other centered. So this betrayal has rocked my world a bit. I don't really sleep or eat much anymore. Today I went to my job on 38 minutes of sleep because I was up all night thinking about what life is going to be like now, how I can ever really trust anyone again. My job is new. Now, get this. This is where I went, oh my God. Her job's at a suicide hotline.
Whoa.
Yeah, and she says, I really want to do well. She said, I messaged my husband, my sleep stuff, and he said he loved me and was sorry. I was so tired, and he'd have a warm dinner waiting for me. His friend, who he hasn't spoken to in a while and is going through a breakup, messaged him asking to play some games. He offered to come pick me up from my mom's beforehand, but I said, that's okay. He probably needs a friend right now, and I want you to have fun. My husband was off work today, by the way, so they played. I came back home at 9 p.m. Obviously, there was no warm dinner. He was still playing with his friend, I guess. I'm just a little sad. I ended up making dinner for us. I'm like, you're ruining my life right now, man. You begged me into staying with you after you fucked up, and you can't even keep your word on dinner. Hop off a little early. I don't know. Am I being petty, guys? I can take it if I can. I just feel really stupid. I did say he could play with his friend instead of pick me up. They haven't played in a month or so maybe feel like he thought I kind of relieved him of those duties. I, I think she's not the asshole. I think her husband is a bit insensitive. I think that his friend could have taken care of his buddy, but also taken a few minutes to do what he promised and cook her dinner.
So, as the primary cooker in my house, um, I kind of agree with you in that, like, okay, maybe I just say, hey, sorry, dinner's going to be a frozen pizza. Dinner's going to be a microwave
And that's
meal.
fine.
Like,
But make
I
something.
I kind of agree with you, but at the same time, I think there's this tendency, and I'm speaking from personal experience, when someone has done something uh, divorce level wrong, that like probably would have warranted, hey, I'm done, I'm out, and you choose to forgive them. Well, no, you say you choose to forgive them. There's this tendency to kind of forgive them, but also like not actually forgive them, so that any incurred wrong is amplified tenfold. And I think that without knowing the details of this person's experience, like it's possible that, you know, I mean, he didn't cook you dinner. Like it's not, he didn't like blow all your savings at the casino. He didn't, he didn't, you know, eat sushi off of a hooker. Um, or whatever.
Maybe he did.
I mean that could be it. But like what I'm saying is like in this instance, I do wonder if maybe she hasn't forgiven as much as she thinks she has.
No, I know. I'm fairly certain she hasn't. But I think the point is that she said, "Look, I'm I'm willing to work on this because you keep asking me, but then you offered to do this and you didn't follow through."
Yeah, I mean, I think some of it's on her though. Like if when you say like, look, hey, the circumstances that were present when you initially said you would do this have changed. I am giving you a green light to accept those change that I am accepting those changed circumstances. Like Jamie, if if I had said Jamie, I'm making uh chicken carbonara or something tonight for dinner, and she was not home yet, and I said, messaged her saying, "Hey, my best friend is having some shit going. Like Brad's having some shit. You know, you mind if I hang out with him?" She might ask, "Hey, are you still making dinner, or do I need to spend for myself?" So, like, this is my thing: is you do have a personal responsibility to sometimes ask a question, and like, if you're gonna give the guy the pass to go, "Hey, no, be with your friend, take care of your friend." Either give him the benefit of a doubt that like, hey, he didn't make dinner, but like circumstances changed, or ask the question, hey, are you still going to make dinner? Because I respect you enough to say you're hanging out with your friend. I don't expect you to make dinner. So like, I don't think she's an asshole. I just don't think she's entirely innocent in the interaction.
So it's a 75-25.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
Like I just feel like in any relationship, you have to bear some responsibility in every interaction. And sometimes that's like the other night, I knew Jamie was coming home. I didn't know when she was coming home. So I messaged her and said, "Hey, look, I'm just trying to figure out do I need to cook dinner for you?" Like I didn't care if she came home at midnight or 5 p.m. I just needed to know so that I knew to cook dinner or not. Like cooking dinner for one is I'm gonna have a peanut butter and honey sandwich. Cooking for dinner for two is I'm gonna make something a little more wholesome.
Right.
So like I just feel like you can't you bear some responsibility when you're in a marriage, especially, but any relationship. So that's
I
sorry,
bear no responsibility.
Brad. I just want you to know that I love you, and we're good friends, and like in most things, I'm on your side. But if you and Kirsten get in a fight, and like I'm probably on her side.
She already knows that. She already knows that were anything ever to happen with both of us, I'm losing everyone.
I mean, you're not losing me, but like I'm probably gonna side with her.
Yeah,
in whatever the fight was.
everyone's gonna side with her.
Like, I mean, like again, I'll still be with you, buddy, and we're still friends. But I'm gonna be like, yeah, dude, you were the.
All right, go fuck off. All
hey,
right.
What are you reading? What are you reading?
So I'm actually reading a book that Kirsten gave me.
Okay.
Skin and Other Stories by Roald Dahl.
Sounds very Silence of the Lamb.
He's got a kind of a wicked mind. You may be familiar with this author, Roald Dahl.
Well, yeah, wasn't he the Wizard of Oz guy?
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Ah, okay, yeah, right. I knew it was something like that.
Yeah, really crazy stories. So I'm reading that right now.
Okay. Well, I've been reading an author. I usually read like really trashy science fiction that's like has no thoughtful value at all. But I've been reading this author called Adrian Tchaikovsky.
Okay.
And his science fiction is very cerebral. It really provokes a lot of thought, which takes a lot of time. But there's this whole like Children of Time series that it's 3 books: Children of Time, Children of Memory, Children of Ruin. Can't recommend it enough. It deals a lot, like actually all of his books that I've read so far have dealt kind of with this whole like the relationship between the creator and the created. And I don't want to give it away, but yeah, Adrian Tchaikovsky. If you're into kind of like cerebral science fiction, highly recommend his writing.
All right. Now on to the next topic. I think that's where we're at right now.
Okay, you're
Right?
in charge of that.
Okay. So
I remembered this time I did not ask you
yeah,
if it was my turn.
yeah, no, you didn't. You didn't. So what? So being that Valentine's Day is coming up, last year we talked about love and the meaning of Saint Valentine's Day. This time we're going a little bit further. So we're going to be talking about what is love. How
What
do
is love?
how
Lady, don't hurt me. Sorry. Go ahead.
how do people perceive love? How do people feel love? Different types of love. We're even going to talk about people who don't have the capacity to love. Shut up, Daniel. So because I mean I remember going on a date like 15 years ago or so, 10 years ago, and then there's people who cannot feel romantic love. They can get horny, but they can't feel romantic love. So we're gonna talk about that.
Okay,
So
let's do that.
let's do that.
That sounds like a
So
great topic.
yep.
Anything else you want to add, Brad?
No, only that you and Jamie should absolutely go on the cruise with Kirsten and I.
I actually today scheduled a work trip, so we are not going on a cruise.
You scheduled a work trip so you wouldn't have to go on a cruise.
Yeah, man.
How
Works.
hateful.
Sometimes you got to work.
How hateful.
No. So yeah, like I think this is a good conversation. It was fun. A little more fun than some of our other conversations.
All right.
And we're gonna talk about love.
Yes.
All right.
Try not to kiss me.
All right.
All right.
Please, if you enjoyed this, well, if you've enjoyed our other episodes, this one was all right. But if you enjoy our podcast, please continue to listen to us on what are we on, Brad?
YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
But if
you can email us at winewhiskeyandword@gmail.com. Our website is winewhiskeyandwords.com.
And if you are the owner of winewhiskeyandwords@gmail.com, please send us the password so we can take over that account.
There we go.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Sorry for my behavior, and cheers.
Yeah. Cheers.